the prominent king that sat on the throne was Nebuchadnezzar. Then you had the Persians and the Medes, which were two separate nations that joined forces. And you had, I'll name some of the kings of that power. You had Darius, you had Cyrus, you had Xerxes or Artaxerxes. Now, if you ever seen that movie 300 about King Leonidas, he went up against Xerxes. So that was during the height of the Medo-Persian Empire. All right, the Medes were the higher of the two. Then the Persians came in. They came into power. In other words, they were the prominent one of the two. All right, you got something?
First Maccabees chapter 8 verse 1. Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of amity with all that came unto them, and that they were men of great valor. It was told him also of their wars and noble acts which they had done among the Galatians, and how they had conquered them and brought them under tribute, and what they had done in the country of Spain for the winning of the mines of the silver and gold which is there, and that by their policy and patience they had conquered all the place, though it were very far from them, and the kings also that came against them from the uttermost part of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute every year.
Right, so that's why they became. That's why it's known as the Roman Empire, and you can see on the map right there. All right. Now I like you to go to number 1. So come back to us and then go to number 1. All right, and this is a list of lands under the Roman Empire. You got anything else? All right, go ahead.
Daniel 7 and 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horn, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
Now that's talking about the Roman Empire, and ultimately it's talking about the last leg of the Roman Empire, which is America, right? But now let's read about the ancient or pagan Roman Empire. Now if you look at that list, it explains, it breaks down the different nations that it took over, right? You know, on the top there, you'll see in the parentheses you see Hispaniola, which is the Spanish. Then you see like 3 nations, all right? And then as you go to number 4, that's Gallia, which is the French. That's where you get the word Gaul from. All right, those are the French. So they took over the French, they took over the Spanish. As you read down, number 9, number 10, you had Germania Inferior and Germania Superior. So Germany was broken up, ancient Germany was broken up into 2 parts. So what do you got? You got 4 nations, right? Then you read down, you'll see Sicily, then you'll see Italia, all right? And then as you read down, you'll see Dalmatia, what is that, at number 21, all right? And then as you read down, it'll speak about Britannia, because they took over Britannia, which is Great Britain today, or England today. Right. So you got all these groups right here. These are the lands of the Roman Empire. All right. Remember, it said that it's stamped with the residue. In other words, it took these different lands down and made them pay tribute. All right. And some of them, if you read the history about Rome, you read about how they said, well, we don't want any money or taxes from you. All we want is your sons to fight in our wars, which was very wise in part of the Roman Empire. Because if you got their sons, you can take down more nations and create a bigger empire. To this very day, people still study the ancient Roman Empire, going back 2,000 years or more. You got something, brother?
Yeah, this is from a document published on Tuesday, July 3rd of 2007 by the Toronto Star. The title of it is the U.S. Mirroring Rome's Fall? And it's by Richard Gwynn. Now, I'm just jump to the point. It says the Romans thought the same way. Among the very last Roman coins to be stuck were those that bore the legend Roma Invicta, or Rome Invincible. There is a...
And that's exactly what America's saying. America think they're going to go on forever. They don't realize. They had dedicated a ship to George W. Bush's father. They called it the, USS George H.W. Bush. And one of the commanding officers made a speech, and he said that we're going to be here for another 50 years, which is bullshit. You're not going. America's on its way out, but that's what Rome said. The emperors of Rome, the Caesars of Rome said the same thing. The ancient Babylonians, Nebuchadnezzar said his kingdom was never going to go down, and all these kingdoms went down, man. And I like. Hold that, brother, and get me the book of Psalms 49:11. You're going down, and also get me Job 14:5.
Psalms chapter 49, verse 11. Psalms 49:11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
Right, you devils think you're going to go on forever. You said that when you were the Romans went down. The Babylonians said that they were going to rule forever. They went down. So what makes America so special? You had a time to rule, and when your time was up, the Most High brought you down. It's the Lord that ruleth in the kingdom of men. All right? Go ahead.
Job 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
So there's nothing that you can do to stop the destruction of America. America's going down. You're trying to bring a new hope with this asshole. What's this nigga? This Hamite, Barack Hussein Obama. You got a Hamite. You got a Hamite that's President-elect Barack Hussein Obama, and you're making a big deal. I read earlier today that the money that you spent on this so-called inauguration, all right, and I would like the brother to look up the word augur or inaugur to show you that this when a president becomes a president, he's president-elect, then he's sworn in. Another name for that is to be inaugurated. And that comes from the word augur, which goes back to the Roman offices, the Caesars, the councils, and the Senate. They were all inaugurated. All right? And if the brother got that, I'm gonna pass it to him and he can read it. Here you go, brother.
Now, this is from the Wikipedia, which you can go online and check it out yourself. The word augur, which is spelled A-U-G-U-R. The augur was a priest and official in the classical world, especially ancient Rome and Etruria. His main role was to interpret the will of the gods by studying the flight of the birds, whether they are flying in groups or alone, what noises they make as they fly, direction of flight, and what kind of birds they are.